Sholem Aleichem Folkshul was all Yiddish. They did not involve themselves in Zionism, although they were, of course, favorably disposed. The Aleichem Folkshul was part of the Zionist movement, which is how come I learned Hebrew too. They were very interested in having all of us get a real fix on where we fit in the world and in history, so that we weren't just sort of someplace or outside of someplace, but we understood all about why we were outside and what, during all the periods in history, the ghetto meant and what effect it had. And I spent my life on that in the following way. Boibrik, Sholem Aleichem camp, was a camp where twice in the summer we had a big pageant that lasted days. The Mitzvah Yontif, which was mid-season, and the Felka Yontif, which was end of the season. That was a nationwide holiday. And at the Mitzvah Yontif, we always enacted famous times in Jewish history. Bar Kochba, Esther, all of that kind of thing. So that was going way back and enacting it. We had people who made costumes on the territory. We had music, dance, theater, art every day, plus Yiddish, plus we played sports. I mean, it was, and we used to write. We wrote in a little diaries. I wish I could find mine, but the difference I felt was that it was run by a psychologist. Leibish Lera was his name. And all the kids who were campers stayed on to become counselors. We were such an intimate group. We all knew each other. Shandel and Middle and Label and Muttle, and I really didn't know what their English names were. It shocked me. We would finally find out and laugh. Muttle is Marcus, Del Shader Marcus, and make such fun of all the names because we knew him as Muttle. Muttle sounded good. Marcus sounded ridiculous. So I think that the difference between it and the others was that it was not political. It didn't have one particular theme. And the Workman Circle camp was, Workman Circle was a huge organization. It had the shuls, it had the camp, but it had main grown-up union, branches. Sholem Aleichem didn't have anything like that. It was only for the culture. And our building was 9 West 15th Street. That was the Middle Shul building. And the Felka Yontif was the one that knocked me out the most. Every group became another nation in the world, and they always chose 2 nations who were fighting each other. They were always, we had plenty of those. Everybody in the group would be dressed in fantastic costumes of that period with a hat. The big deal was the hats, because if you knew a boy and you got his hat, oh, mamma mia, when you got that one, and I was walking around with that one, not my own dumb, that was a big deal. And the holiday was 4 days. Friday nights, we used to have a kind of a thing after dinner. The tables, the beds were all made white, and we had to turn back the sheet so that you didn't see color of blankets. Everything was white. Tablecloths, white. White candles. And we were allowed to invite another counselor. A popular counselor, because we would always invite a boy counselor, to sit at our table. Then we would go into the auditorium, and there would be a performance. Music, theater, and the best actors from New York would come up and play for us. Dance, poetry, and the big thing was that you don't applaud. So Friday night, that Shabbos, is for quietness. It did not revolve around religion in any way. It revolved around the basic idea of now separate the hard work life from this more internal spiritual life. And Saturday we played and stuff, but Felka Yontif, on Saturday, we all had gardens. Each group had a garden. And you grew whatever you grew. I mean, they were apartment house kids, so it was a miracle to see it. And you made a tray with what you had grown, and then you go to the country that was the biggest enemy over history, and you would speak very beautiful words that were very much taught to us by our faculty, and exchange talking about how we're all coming to the Friedenspalats, Peace Palace. Wir singen die Völker erläub, zerspreit deine Fliegel und schweb über uns, du klare, du schneeweiße Taub. And it was all about, we had a big paper mache dove in the ceiling of the auditorium. And it symbolized that this is the Peace Palace. And all the nations come wearing our uniforms, our stuff. We get up on stage, each group, one at a time, sing a song which was researched all winter long by Lazar Weiner, and a Leibniz would make Yiddish words to it. And all of it had to do with something about us and our history, that country, but we all come in peace. We all come in peace. And I was so struck. I went to Bebre for 10 years. I was so struck by the concept of all human beings are really the same. We're all totally connected. And the foolishness of fighting each other when we all have the same desires and the same interests. We cry for the same reasons. We are happy for the same reasons worldwide. A child, a gift, a friend, a party, you know. And I carried that my whole life, and in all the television work I did, that was a very, very big part of it.